Lesbian fiasco.
Lesbian fiasco.
Lesbian fiasco.
Lesbian fiasco.
Lesbian fiasco.
Lesbian fiasco. I'm Nikki.
And I'm Monte.
And this is the Lesbian Fiasco.
Lesbian Fiasco.
Perfect, because this is the Lesbian Fiasco.
Yeah. I don't even really know what this is. It's a fiasco is what it is.
This is an LGBTQIA short stories podcast where the two of us read stories we have written but the other has not read. We email the stories when we begin recording so the other does not have an opportunity to read ahead. The challenge begins during the reading using the silent notes as indicators for direction, tone, accents, noises, etc. The challenge does not end there, no. We each continue writing the next chapter of the other person's story until a definitive end is met. It could be 2 episodes, it could be 20, you don't know and neither do we. Each episode is minimally edited for the listener's enjoyment. All new episodes are posted on the 1st and 15th of each month. If you are enjoying the podcast, please rate and follow.
Thank you for untangling that fiasco in my head. All right, let's get on with the show.
This is DYKE DAWGS, episode 9. Hey you! Are you a dyke or a dyke lover? Identify on the LGBTQIA2S plus spectrum? Still listening? Good! Don't touch that dial. This is...
DYKE DAWGS! Way to hook 'em in, and welcome to our podcast.
Yeah! Do we have a show for you today, folks?
Do we, Muff?
Don't we always do?
Yeah, well, we do always bring the heat.
True that. It is hot out here on the ranch and my AC broke.
Oh, that sucks, dog. I've cranked up the AC in my place and it's chilly, brr.
Keeping it cool for your lady friend, eh? That Jesus lady.
The devil in sexy sheep clothing, my hot Sunday school teacher.
Damn, D! You're getting quite cozy with her. This is the surprise of the year from you.
What can I say? I'm a sucker for succubus. And I mean that in the best way, of course.
Glad to hear you're having fun. I know you hated the church growing up in a small Baptist town and all as a kid.
Yeah, that's for true. I always looked at those Bible thumpers as seedy car salesmen, always looking to get something out of you and open up your wallet. But here I am, doing it in the church pews. It's a little F-you to organized religion.
Whoa! You did it in the church?
Yeah, like weeks ago, Murph. Didn't I tell you?
I might have missed out on that. I mean, I think you told me you did it in the Sunday school, but that is different from the inside of the church, right?
What's one room from another? It's just a big room, right?
That is enchantingly sacrilegious. Let's hope you two don't get caught.
The only one looking at us was Jesus. That chick is a freak, but still quite devout. She's always calling out for her daddy, Jesus. And I've been spending more time there. The whole thing is very homoerotic. The sermons are always like, Daddy, fill me with your spirit, Lord. Bunch of freaks. But now I'm on the council and I can really see it for what it is.
Holy shit!
That's right!
Whoa! Well, let's not get in trouble here and change the subject.
Oh, I know why you want to be careful, Murph. Can you talk about it on the podcast?
Well, obviously our listeners know that I carried out some dying wishes for a friend. A dear old lady friend of mine and a true mentor. I've been served papers by the estranged bloodline of said friend, and I don't know. I can't talk much about it, but we'll see.
That's some heavy stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a non-profit sanctuary, you know? They're coming after the kimonos and the ranch. It's all good. Whatever happens, I'll be good. I'm a survivor, you know? I've survived a lot of shit in my day, and I'll survive this. Just don't come for my kimonos, you know? Oh, and because of all this, I had to shut down my cheese business. There's nothing wrong with the kimono cheeses, but they went straight for the business and shut it down.
Murphy, that is so unfortunate to hear. I know you'll survive, dog. You're one tough dog.
That's right. You know I wouldn't hurt a fly, but I still got a bite.
Oh, I know that's for sure. Listeners, our Murph here is obviously a kind-hearted softy, but that wasn't always the case. Remember when you took the whole gang of homophobes down single-handedly back in the day when hate crimes went unpunished?
Yeah, I had enough of them because they was always picking on my drag queen friends. I was their friend and I had to stick up for them. That was crazy. Went to jail for a few months, but luckily got let out on good behavior instead of serving a full sentence.
Right. See, listeners, you know I get a little rowdy when there's a slur thrown in my direction or the direction of a friend. I don't stand for that shit, and Murph doesn't either. The ones that couldn't hurt a fly usually are holding out on something.
I changed my ways. I'm a lover, not a fighter.
Well, I'm a lover and a fighter.
We know, D. We know. Dyke?
Dogs!
Well, this is all pretty heavy stuff, but on the light side, today we are sponsored by Pussy Lights.
Oh, I love this company. You know, back in the day, I apprenticed with a neon sign maker that was at the top of a game, and I was a little baby dyke back then. I could have taken it to the next level. I was her closest assistant, but her broad had the hots for me. I respected the master neon maker and their relationship, but the girlfriend tried to make moves on me one night at the shop, and she busted in and blamed the whole thing on me. Obviously, she wasn't ready to confront a girlfriend for being a two-timer, so I took the heat and moved out. So let's just say I know a thing or two about neon signs, and Pussy Lights are quality stuff. The owner of Pussy Lights also apprenticed with the same master sign makers years after me, but brought their stuff to a whole new level and only make neon signs in the shapes of vaginas.
Life is a crazy ride, Diesel. But obviously, you would have never been a master welder if you had stayed in the neon business and the broad kept her panties on.
Yeah, water under the bridge. I definitely moved on to other things in my life. But I do love those Pussy Lights. I just got a new one for my pad.
Pussy Lights has a variety of shapes, sizes, and colors. You can get one made out of the shape of your own vagina, your favorite vagina, or just do what I did and get a random looking vagina because each one of them is beautiful and it really adds to any ambiance.
I also chose a random vagina because I don't want to have any fights with my lady friends. Know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. That would be an awkward conversation if it was a pussy light of an ex's vagina.
The kind of conversation I would never want to have. It's like you gotta delete all the evidence of past relationships from your life to make way for new ones. But how could you throw out a beautiful neon sign?
It's almost like having a tattoo of a long-lost lover.
Murphy, you are making me have a little PTSD from that chick with the diesel chest piece.
Oh shit, sorry D. That was a bad example.
No harm, no foul. I had to say that. That restraining order really did some good.
Yeah, well, let Pussy Lights light your way. Go to the website lightthatpussyup.com and enter DYKE DAWGS meow at checkout for 20% off.
That is a significant discount for a light that will last forever. Go do it now. Well, after the podcast.
Yeah, but don't go away now. Diesel has an announcement.
Alright, nobody thought it would ever happen, but you're hearing it here first, folks. I'm getting married! I proposed to my Sunday school teacher and I'm gonna have a lovely wife for the rest of my fucking life. How about that, Murph?
Jeez, I never knew that existed.
You know what they say, one man's trash is another man's treasure.
Very exciting stuff, Diesel.
What can I say? Read it and weep.
Well, what are you, getting into today, Diesel?
Oh, I'm getting baptized! Before we get married, she said I needed to be baptized because she didn't want to fucking get on the escalator to heaven and me on my fucking elevator to hell. So she's like, convinced I gotta go fucking jump in some goddamn lake with this fucking priest or some shit. So that's what I'm doing today. I'm gonna go get baptized. I hope the lake doesn't start bubbling.
Damn. Alright. That sounds nice.
Yeah, it's a thing I got going on over here. What about you, Murph?
Well, let's see. Wow. Since I'm not making cheese anymore, I'm, converting the cheese storage shed into a hangout area for us down here. It's nice and cool, temperature controlled, so everyone can get out the heat and come in and enjoy. And since my AC is broken in the house and the pots are on back order, I'll be in the old cheese shed quite a bit.
So it's like your harem's quarters.
Diesel, no! We are not a cult and my tenants are not sister wives. It's just a nice big common area that we can hang out in. I'm putting my pussy light in there and it will go so nicely with the decorum. The space is basically the size of my house.
Yeah. I wonder what will be going on after hours in there. Let me think. Maybe an orgy or two.
Who knows? But get this. One of the walls is being converted with the help of a climber buddy of mine into a climbing wall. Custom made. We are erecting it later this afternoon.
Nice, Murph. Bringing all the climbing lesbians to you. Very smart.
I'm just a homebody, you know. Why go to a climbing gym if I can just make one here on the ranch?
I bet they all got careless hands, that's for sure.
Look who's talking, mechanic dog.
Yeah, well, you know, it's never-ending battle against the careless. I'm always moisturizing these tough hands for the ladies. Actually, I got this concoction I put together that maybe I should capitalize on.
Diesel, I would pay top dollar for that. You know, the kimono milk was always what I used to soften my hands as of late. But with everything going down, there will be no more milking on the ranch.
That really was your secret weapon. But nah, this is something I've been working on that I finally perfected. It would have been great to use the kimono milk, but oh well, this works too.
What would you call it if you were to go into business?
I've been thinking of a few names. One was Lady Fingers. But you know, that's a little too girly sounding for me. Even though my fingers would be for the ladies and such. But I've got other ideas, like slippery when wet, and softer than a velvet chamber, or right on the tip of my tongue. That last one was just something I fucking, kind of made up one night when I was out, because I was thinking, sometimes when I got a little careless or whatever, I put my finger in my mouth and I'm chewing it off, right? And then I play with it with my tongue, so I thought, well, why not just call the moisturizer, right on the tip of my tongue, right? I'll know. What do you think?
Very nice. I like the sounds of that. It would sell. It would sell. You know, a lot of us out here like to work with our hands. But when it comes to sexy times, you feel a little self-conscious that they might be too tough. And you never want to hurt nobody.
Never! Ask any one of my exes. I have the softest hands. You will think I never worked a day in my life. But then again, don't ask my exes anything. I don't want them knocking on my door in the middle of the night.
You've had enough of that, I'm sure.
You know it, dog. Like the most recent ghost, Sabrina.
Sabrina! The teenage witch!
The 33-year-old witch. Close.
Oh no, I thought she married and moved on.
Me too. But I caught her on my Ring app a few nights ago, and let me tell you, it is a scary sight seeing an ex on a nighttime camera with their beady eyes all ghost looking. I called the cops and she ran right before they got her.
Jesus, Diesel, that is the stuff of nightmares.
Yeah, just par for the course.
Gotta watch it with you. You leave a lady and then they turn into a ring light zombie.
I do nothing but move on and they get all psycho. It's the price I pay for having such soft hands.
It's the cross we bear. Just like that Jesus statue voyeuristically watching you and your Bible study gal doing it in church.
Hey, I'm not a bad guy. Okay, sorry, Jesus.
Just kidding with you, D.
If the Christian right gets a listen to our podcast, we are toast.
Hey. They won't toast us. It's all in good fun.
I'll toast to that.
It's about that time. Down the hatch.
DYKE DAWGS. Well, Muff, it's been swell talking to yous today.
Same to you, Diesel. I needed this. Thanks, dog.
I'm here for you, dog. Anytime.
Thanks, dog. Well, fellow dogs, we gotta hightail it out of here.
Until next time,
DYKE DAWGS out!
The Doctor Will See You Now, Part 3. It's a glorious, beautiful morning. The birds are chirping. The sun is shining in through the second-level window panes onto translucent dangling gems, casting beautiful rainbows about the room. The air feels fresh with just the slightest breeze, causing a bit of rustling in the trees, blowing from the limbs just a few of the first browning leaves gracefully to the ground. Yes, it's calm outside and good spirits are felt all around, except in Dr. Patricia McGray's office. No, contradictory to the cheery outdoor atmosphere, this room is filled with a thick veil of tension and apprehension. This is Lexi's first appointment with the doctor. She sits on the sofa and the sign on the wall lights up. The doctor will see you now. Good morning, Lexi. I am pleased to meet you. I'm Dr. McGray, but you can call me Patricia.
Hi, Patricia. Let me just say, I've done this before. A lot in the past 8 years.
I understand you were referred to me by your psychiatrist, Dr. Davis?
Yes. He said you'd be a good fit for me. You have experience working with people like me.
Dr. Davis and I go way back. He was my fabulous maid of honor, if you will, at my first wedding.
First wedding? Okay. Well, that puts me a little more at ease. Every time I go to a new therapist or whoever, they always seem to be this flawless creature, unrelatable, seemingly alien to someone like myself.
We are human, I assure you. We've only just started talking, but twice you've already alluded to being extremely different from others. Tell me what sets you apart, and what do you mean when you say people like you?
People like me? I mean, I'm sure you've read my file or have some kind of idea of why I'm here.
Yes, I've read your files. I'd like to hear your version.
The only version I have is the truth. I've ruined my life, one casual hookup after the other. I'm a textbook diagnosed nymphomaniac.
In what ways have you ruined your life?
Everyone thinks that they want to date a nympho until they actually do. I'm 43 years old. My first marriage lasted 1 year. My second marriage lasted only 6 months. The third go-round, she hung in for the long haul. 7 years. 7 years down the drain. She even tried to save our marriage by being open to a polyamorous relationship, but even then, I fucked it all up. I couldn't even be loyal to our extremely loose rule book she designed. She loved me. She really loved me, and I hurt her. More than once. More than a few times. I can't even count the amount of infidelities prior and during poly agreement. It's like I can't stop pushing people's limits. It's more exciting when I know I shouldn't be doing it, you know? Like being somewhere I'm not supposed to be. I find it exhilarating. Breaking the rules, it's my number one turn on.
When was the last time you had the desire to push the limits and break the rules?
Honestly, the moment I sat down on this couch. I imagine myself walking over to you and pulling your skirt up to your waist and going down on you in that chair. What would you do? Would you allow me?
No.
But you're thinking about it now, aren't you?
Let's back up, Lexi. When was the last time you acted on your sexual compulsions?
I actually had sex with a guy the other day. A major regret.
What were the circumstances?
Because he was available, and it had been almost 2 weeks without touching anyone. We were quarantined together for like 5 days. Positive for COVID after a weekend on a riverboat gambling cruise. Didn't get lucky. On the tables or in the rooms. Anyway, I thought it would be a good idea to quarantine together. No worries of boredom if I'm with one of my best friends. It was awful. All of it. I stopped him about 1 minute in, inside me. He was offended, and I'm pretty sure I ruined that friendship. 15 years down the drain after a perfect storm of comfortability. No sex for 2 weeks. No women around, and a friend who has been waiting for me to open that door. Part of me feels like he took advantage. He knows how I am, and he suggested staying together. Can't fault him completely, though. I'm an adult, and I made the first move. But still, he did know me better than most.
How are you dealing with these feelings of regret and remorse?
The best way I know how. I'm sleeping my way through Tinder. I'm the one. It's me with the bio that says, not here for a long time, only here for a good time. I'm that douche. But hey, at least I'm honest.
Have you tried meetings?
Sexaholic meetings? Ha! Yeah. Best meeting place for picking up an easy lay.
Interesting. So you have made attempts, but nothing serious. Do you take any measures to protect yourself from STDs?
Oof. Nothing other than the occasional health department visit during the urges. I don't really ever think about the possible consequences. If I had time to think, I'd save myself from a world of hurt. But they're like impulses. I can't think of anything else except instant sexual gratification. I swear my clit never stops throbbing. I suffer from a constant ache between my legs that feels excruciatingly magnificent.
I'd like you to schedule an appointment for a complete STD panel. Let's talk about abstinence. In the past 2 years, what's the longest amount of time you have refrained from sex?
About 3 months, 1 year ago.
3 months. And during that 3 months, how were you able to stay abstinent?
I was in the hospital and then recovered at home. I broke my leg, a few ribs, and had a toe amputated and severe concussion. It's not that I didn't want to have sex. I couldn't. All of that and the desire was still there. I just wasn't able. The craziest part is that the car accident that landed me in the predicament was caused because I was having sex while driving. She was wearing a strap-on, and I climbed on while she was driving. She lost control of the car, and we slammed into a median, causing me to get sandwiched between her and the steering wheel.
Ouch.
Ouch is right. See, my sexual impulses have made it impossible for me to maintain a healthy relationship. I have suffered bodily injury. I've lost so much. All this, and I still can't stop.
Lexi, can you remember when this all began?
As far back as I can remember, I think I was about 6 when I found my dad's Playboys in my parents' master bath. I was mesmerized. Later, after I found them, I would regularly sneak in. They never caught me. They got close a few times, but I was quick and stealthy. Anytime there was a new dirty magazine, it was like Christmas morning. Then as I got older, I started stashing them in my room. The older ones, you know? They wouldn't know they were missing. I would pose in my bedroom mirror. I suppose that's when I started exploring my own body. It's like people knew, because I was sexualized at a very young age. Around the same time I discovered orgasms, grown men started taking notice of me. I liked the attention. It made me feel wanted. My parents were so busy all the time with work, and my younger siblings, they never took notice. So around 13, I started hanging out with an older crowd, and I lost my virginity. I didn't get much sexual gratification out of it, but I did enjoy seeing how much they wanted me.
So you were promiscuous when you were very young?
Promiscuous? No. I lost my virginity, but like I said, I didn't get much sexual gratification. I was a tease, I guess. I had sex with 2 more guys between 13 and 17. I just liked watching them squirm. I loved how they were all pining for my attention with the slightest seduction. No, it wasn't until I was 17 that things took a turn. A new girl in my class asked me to hang out after school. Well, one thing led to another, and my whole world changed. I couldn't get enough. I could seduce and be pleased. Satisfaction in 2 forms. Not to mention that women who want your attention actually make a real effort. Guys don't hold a candle to how amazing a woman is when she's smitten.
I see. So you became promiscuous around 17 after your first experience with a woman? Is this when you started identifying as a lesbian?
Oh no. Lesbian identity didn't come until later. It took approximately 5 years after to accept myself and come out. My parents had indoctrinated me with their bigot views, so the internalized homophobia was bar none. I didn't have my first relationship until I was 23, and I had to come out. Prior to meeting her, I was just sleeping with women on the side. All the sides. I would try so hard to push my desires deep down inside until I felt like I was about to explode, and there was no holding back.
What did coming out to your parents look like, and how did they receive that news?
It went exactly as expected. My mom completely withdrew, went silent, got up, left the room. She didn't speak to me for about 8 months. My dad flipped out. He told me I was going to hell. Did I mention I brought my first girlfriend with me? Yeah, that was a mistake. They blamed her. It didn't stop us from getting married. That was my first marriage. About a month after coming out and marrying her, I got incredibly stressed and I started feeling bored. I needed something else to clear my mind, so one night I told her I was going out with a friend. I went to a bar by myself, picked up a woman, went back to her place. That was the first affair.
Did you feel any guilt?
Yes. The first time. I found after the 3rd and 4th affair, the guilt went away. It was just an easy outlet, a great distraction, and it actually helped our relationship. I wasn't so stressed all the time, which meant we didn't argue. But then she caught me. I guess she was suspicious and hired a private investigator. One day while I was at work, she moved out. I came home to pictures of me and a woman making out at a bar taped to the walls of the living room. We never spoke again, not even once. I couldn't reach out. What would I even say? So I just filled the void with more women.
And your second wife?
Oh no. I said I was married 3 times, but I didn't say they were all women.
Oh, I'm sorry for assuming. That's surprising to me, though. Tell me how this came about.
I met him at work. My parents' wet dream of a husband for me. I retreated back into the closet. I pretended to be sexually gratified. We married about only 2 months after dating. My parents were ecstatic, and instead of anticipating their firstborn to be the fiery pits of hell, they were back into anticipating their firstborn grandchild. I was still seeing women, though, just on the down low. Well, sort of. My perfect religious husband didn't mind my sexual advances of women as long as they were done in his presence. It was when I was alone with women his ego would take a beating. I needed that intimacy with women, though. The kind you have when you're alone together and the world just stops. I filed for divorce after 6 months. I couldn't live there. I couldn't live the lie anymore.
Good for you for being brave enough to recognize your unhappiness and taking the steps to be your true self.
Thank you. Although I don't feel brave. It feels selfish.
Your happiness feels selfish?
The way I went about trying to attain my happiness is selfish.
Your awareness speaks volumes. People make mistakes.
Big mistakes. My biggest being my 3rd wife. I'd give anything for a do-over. When she left me, my whole life disappeared with her. Any glimmer of hope dissipated. I met her on vacation. I was actually on vacation with another woman. Started dating her seriously just a week prior to this vacation. Officially, you know? She was nice, smoking hot. But when I saw Jewel, it was all over. Jewel. Her name was Jewel. The perfect name because I felt like I'd found my diamond in the rough. My pet name for her was Gem. I thought things would change with her. They did to begin with. I was faithful for the first year. Then, I don't know, life just got too real. My parents were back in my life a little bit, but always giving me grief and asking me to repent. Jules started working a stressful job, working long hours. I actually started getting jealous. I began imagining her staying late and fucking someone on her desk. To which I started angrily masturbating to like some pathetic cup.
Were there any indiscretions on her end?
No, not one. But I didn't believe it at the time. I swore she was having an affair. Leaving me at home alone all night, I got bored again. I got angry. I was jealous. I never got jealous, but I was jealous. I would drive to her work and try to look into the office building. I realized how crazy I looked, and also that there are cameras everywhere, so I needed to stop stalking. I decided to get an online dating profile just to see if she was maybe on there looking for someone else. It sounds crazy, I know, but at the time it felt like a very real possibility. I didn't find her, but I found someone else. Not my usual type, but intrigued me. I told her I was just looking for a friend. We met up one night and started talking about our lives at home. Similar. Eerily similar. Because of our wives' hours, we both entered the lesbian bed death era of our marriages. The sexual tension started to build after a few more meetups. I noticed how she was starting to look at me when I'd cross my legs in a short skirt. So I started parting my legs in the short skirt. I teased her until one night she couldn't hold back any longer. She ran her hand up my skirt and slid her fingers inside me. I felt guilty afterwards. For the first time in years, I actually felt guilt.
How long did that affair last?
Several months. Her wife found out and contacted mine. That's when Jewel and I separated the first time. I begged her back. I told her I'd do anything, and I would. Except that's a lie because I couldn't be faithful. She came back and I cheated again. I groveled and she took me back again. Things were somber in the house. We were trying to get back to life the way it was before it all fell apart. I couldn't handle the silence, the boredom, the stress, the lack of intimacy killed me. I started meeting women in chat rooms. That's when Jewel suggested marriage counseling. And at our first appointment, she proposed an open relationship. She needed the counselor to be the mediator for how long it should all play out. She made a rule book. The time and energy she put into trying to make it all work was impressive, to say the least. She would work and I would meet women, but she had to know who they were. She had to meet them before I had sex with any of them.
How did you feel about this arrangement?
It took the excitement out of it for me. The hiding, the sneaking, the teasing, the anticipation. The carnal desire wasn't there if I was getting approval, you know? So I started lying to her and the women I brought home for her to meet.
Did she ever experiment with a new sexual partner in this open relationship?
She was too busy. And she just wanted me. I'm so stupid. Hindsight is 20/20, right?
It's true, but with the sight of past mistakes, we are able to make better future decisions.
Yeah, one would think.
You were saying you were now lying to your wife and your sexual partner?
Yes. Well, eventually, about 2 years down the road and many affairs, she found my messages on my phone. A breach of her own rules and regulations, which were specifically made to avoid being hurt by sexting of my other partners. While I was napping for 2 hours, she was reading message after message after message. When I woke up, I knew she had gotten into my phone somehow and went through it. She was destroyed. We lived together for another 6 months. I went into a downward spiral, an abyss of self-destruction. She started dating someone new who was really fucking nice and perfect for her. I showed no emotion. To this day, I don't think she knows how much havoc our divorce caused my mental and emotional state. I couldn't hold her back anymore, so I needed her to think I didn't care about losing her. I had to let her go to stop her pain.
That's a very noble and selfless act, Lexi.
Well, after 7 years of my garbage, it was about time for a selfless act.
Lexi, our time is about up for the day. What do you say we pick up again next week?
Wow, okay. That time flew. Okay.
Until then, I'd like you to try to refrain from sexual encounters. When you feel the desire for intimacy or you feel bored or lonely, find something else to do. Writing, drawing, yard work, a bike ride, anything other than a sexual activity.
That's a big ask, but I'll try.
That is all I ask. It was nice to meet you, Lexi. I'll see you next week.
Hey, Doc. About the thing I said earlier with your skirt,
Yes.
the offer still stands. Or you could lift mine.
Lexi,
Mm-hmm.
get the fuck out. Finn.
Oh my God.